This hour by Frederick Remington, fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. Exclusive, no refrigeration, 10-year extended shelf life bacon. The thickest, meatiest, center-cut bacon in the industry at fullycookedbacon.com.
The stocks discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering on acting on information, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice.
What kingdom has sent you?
The kingdom of the Most High.
Nothing you have ever experienced can prepare you for the unbridled carnage you're about to witness. The Super Bowl, the World Series, they don't know what pressure is. In this building, it's either kill or be killed. You make no friends in the pits and you take no prisoners. 1 minute, you're up $500,000 in soybeans, and the next, boom, your kids don't go to college and they've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
The Genesis Communication Network is proud to bring you Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week elf, Mark Leibovit, welcoming you on board his financial time machine. And here is the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Wall Street Raw on this Saturday, August 11th. And as always, we appreciate you tuning in on a Saturday morning when you have a lot of other choices. Many of you may know me from the old days with Louis Rukeyser as an elf on the old Wall Street Week television program, or perhaps you saw me on the Nightly Business Report with Paul Kangas for 30 years on PBS. And you also may know that I publish at VRTrader.com and been doing that since 1979. We do have our newsletters available on our website. In fact, just as a quick commercial here, we are offering a special deal, 3 of our newsletters on a 30-day special trial. If you go to our website, vrtrader.com, you'll see it right up there. Just an opportunity to check out 3 of our newsletters, which would sell for several $100s just for a summer special. $50 for 3 letters, and see if you would enjoy those. We're focusing on the cannabis newsletter, which is a very popular one for me. Our new crypto letter, which is also very exciting, and we have this new product called the VR Trading Addict, where we do some trades and almost daily, and this is for those who are looking for a little bit more action in the markets. So all 3, go to vrtrader.com. The best political advice comes from Cicero. I quote this quite a bit on the show. The budget should be balanced. The treasury should be refilled. Public debt should be reduced. The arrogance of officialdom should be tempered and controlled. And the assistance to foreign land should be curtailed, lest Rome will become bankrupt. People must again learn to work instead of living on public assistance. And this was written in 55 BC. Obviously, folks, very little has changed in a couple thousand years. We, as always, try to line up a good group of guests for you. One of my old good friends, Jim ROHRBACH, is on the line now. We're going to be joining Sinclair No in just a few minutes. Hopefully we'll get Harry Boxer, Don VIALOUX, and Henry Weingarten on the line as well, so don't touch your dial. Jim, welcome to Wall Street Raw. Thank you again for joining us.
Well, I'm happy to be here, Mark.
Well, Jim produces a fantastic timing newsletter, investmentmodels.com, and we've been friends for a long time. Jim, I know you're currently on a buy signal for the markets, and tell us a little bit about what you're doing.
Well, we got on a buy signal. I issued it on April 16th. We're still on it. There's a lot of crazy action going on in the market today, but it doesn't look like it will trigger a sell signal unless this thing at the bottom really falls out. So we're going to stay with it and see what today brings. I never predict where the market is going.
Jim, you've been doing this for what now, about 40, 45 years or more?
Started in 1998. How many years is that?
Okay.
I can't add that high, but I've been doing it a long time. I have a lot of people who love my service because my newsletter identifies precisely on the day that the market changes direction, and it's all done with mathematics. If you're going to be a market timer, you only have to meet one condition. You have to be right. So in addition to the newsletters, my subscribers become instant market timers. There are very few of those around beside you and me, Mark. But
right, well, we love market timing. So, Jim, as you did last week, what's the special offer to our listeners that if they want to try your letter?
If they write to Jim at Rick's Index, RIXINDEX.com. That's Jim at RicksIndex.com. I'll be glad to send them 1 month free of my newsletter. So that would be, I send out 2 a week, so that would be 8 newsletters. And the purpose, of course, is to get you to understand what the newsletter does and to identify with it. It's a wonderful thing. I get good feedback from a lot of people.
Okay, folks, so if you want to try Jim's great letter out, go to Jim at RIXINDEX.com, and you'll get a month's free trial and see how you enjoy it. He's been around for a long time, great market timer. He and I both on the top timing list back and forth, and it's always good to get other input, and Jim is definitely a source for that. Jim, we have to run, but thank you so much. We'll talk to you again next week, and we'll see if your signals have changed by then. Jim ROHRBACH, Jim at RicksIndex.com for a free sample. Have a great weekend.
Okay, Mark. Thank you.
Yeah, well, Jim is always, there, and he's been around a long time, based in Orlando, and I enjoy having him on the program. And if you go to investmentmodels.com, you can learn a bit more about his service. So during the show today, if we can get Henry Weingarten on the phone, we'll certainly get him. And meanwhile, let's talk a little bit about what's happening out there. As you know, a lot of volatility. We're in the seasonal time frame for a theoretical peak in the market. At the same time, there's a crisis in Europe, a financial crisis underway. You may be reading what's going on. Italy is on the brink of possibly leaving the European Union, and a lot of money is flowing into the U.S., and the U.S. stock market could surprise a lot of the bears here. I know we have a little bit of a sell-off on Friday, and a lot of that's attributed to tariffs and to a Turkish confrontation, and as always, as we've seen here, what's it now, for several years, this market's climbing that proverbial wall of worry. So we don't want to be Pollyannish about it. There is that seasonal tendency for a sell-off at some point into the fall, but at the same time, we're seeing a lot of resiliency. The bears got their clock handed to them a little bit this week when Elon Musk came out and said he might take Tesla private at $420 a share, and that popped up. Whether that's going to happen or not, only time will tell. But a lot of volatility, even Facebook, which had a big nosedive on a lot of concerns about the social issues out there with regard to what they publish and don't publish, plus earnings. But even Facebook has started to rebound a little bit this past week. Meanwhile, for the gold bugs out there, it's been really frustrating. I hope to have Bill Murphy from GATA.org back on our program really soon. But it's clear to me, and has been for quite some time, that gold suppression is really what's happening out there. And I wrote this past week that even though I like to be super bullish on gold, and certainly the ingredients are there that it could change at any time, the way gold's been acting, it might, over the next 3 years, see new lows under that $1,000 level, and maybe even plunge into the $600-800 range before the big move comes that everybody's looking for. So we'll see. If we take out 1375, which is that big number for me, then perhaps I'm wrong, and we're going to see the beginning of the big push that many of us have been writing and talking about. So we will have, if we don't get Henry on the phone here on our program this morning, we're going to have Don Vialo with us on segment 2, Harry Boxer, and Sinclair No. And don't touch your dial. You're listening to Wall Street Raw here on the Genesis Communication Network.
You're listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
small business owner, you make every dollar count. So what could you do with $10? Go to Vistaprint.com today, and you'll get 500 high-quality custom business cards for only $9.99. That's less than 2 cents per card. And at Vistaprint, your satisfaction is absolutely guaranteed. So it's never been easier to turn 500 strangers into connections. Just visit Vistaprint.com and use promo code 5000 at checkout. That's Vistaprint.com, promo code 5000.
Have you experienced the miracle of CBDs? They can help you reduce suffering, reduce stress, help you sleep better, modulate inflammation in the body, and is absolutely safe. Meta Hemp Solutions offers a radically innovative approach to CBDs for exceptional results. Stop suffering and reduce your stress now. Isn't it time for a good night's sleep? Stop worrying about tomorrow today. Lab tested for potency, purity, and is non-psychoactive. Free shipping to all 50 states. Try our product risk-free, money-back guarantee. Use code GCN15 to get 15% off. That's code GCN15 to get 15% off. Offer ends soon, so visit MetaHemp Solutions today at metahempsolutions.com or call 833-858-7500. Suffer no more. Get rid of the stress and sleep better. Get our product now at metahempsolutions.com. That's metahempsolutions.com.
Did you know that safe drinking water is the second most essential human need? Don't take your water for granted. Know what you're drinking. Get a ProPure 10 in-home water test kit for just $20, a $39 value, and test for 10 different water contaminants and conditions. Takes about 10 minutes and works with most potable city and well water sources. No salesman will call. Order your test kit today and receive a $20 coupon good towards the purchase of a ProPure water filter system. Visit a participating authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists, get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-261-9818 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-261-9818. Again, 800-261-9818.
Broadcasting to over 1,000 radio stations, GCN programming is in all of the largest markets. A GCN advertising career could be the business opportunity you've been waiting for. Companies need hardworking representatives just like you to handle their needs, while you earn residual income which can last for years. Companies are buying and they need you. Email advertise@gcnlive.com or call 877-996-4327. That's 877-996-4327.
Think positive. Never show any sign of weakness. Always go for the throat. Buy low, sell high. Fear, that's the other guy's problem.
Welcome back to the Wall Street Raw Radio Show with Mark Leibovit, your time machine for the financial markets. Want to know more? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Now, here's the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw. It's Saturday, August 11th, and we always are pleased and excited you have time to tune in on a Saturday morning for us. We had just our good friend Jim ROHRBACH on the line, and our next very special and regular guest, Henry Weingarten, is waiting here in the wings. Good morning, Henry. Thank you for joining us.
I hope you enjoyed the August solar eclipse we just had.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. What impact do you think that had on the markets?
Well, that was Turkey.
That was Turkey? Okay.
On Friday. And that was also the Russian ruble. So, actually, I haven't done some work. I did most of my work on the July 27th eclipse, which actually is good for Russia. So I'm beginning to think that this may be very soon a buy on the ruble in the Russian market. Turkey, I haven't done the work on, but it could be the same, but I haven't finished that. I'll let you know by next Friday.
Okay, because I've been watching RSX, which is the ETF for the Russian stocks, and it's been had a little bit of sell off here the last few days. So we'll wait for your buy.
Well, that one I suspect is going to be a buy. It's just a question where the bottom is. No, that's definitely a buy, given the July eclipse. But I haven't done the work on this, but I'll have it by next Friday if it hasn't corrected by then.
Okay, great. We're looking forward to it. So we're still on a pro-Trump buy signal, correct, for the markets?
Absolutely. I mean, again, there'll be some issues, but if you're talking about investing, yes. Effectively, our positions are the same. We're long the markets. We're long gold, which, of course, is a bit defensive, and we're short Bitcoin, and we're short on, let's see what else. We're short on oil, but, I mean, that's a mixed thing, but we're from the 70s, so we're safe there. And we're long copper. I mean, we're not really doing anything in August. I mean, there are plays if you have something extreme, you want to do it. But other than that, we're going to have a very positive November, December in the markets. And that's not just the U.S., it's even China. Although, obviously, China's a mess till then. So,
so you've been calling for like a big Trump rally related to the tariffs. So tell me what that's about.
Well, who's going to win the war? If you ask the Chinese, they think they are, but they're wrong. So guess who's going to win? We are, of course. I mean, we've got the hand. So once that's over, and I don't know if that's how soon that's going to be, but I suspect that will probably be November, then there's going to be a big rally. And that's something we'll probably sell out for, just because the markets are too high. Now, again, as you know, there's no such thing as too high for the markets if people are willing to put their money in there. So, I mean, certainly the NASDAQ, when it gets to 8,000 or 8,100, we're going to pretty much be out of it. It's just uncomfortable, even though it may go higher. I couldn't care less. S&Ps, Goldman Sachs says 2850. We were basically there. They think we can go as high as 29.35, but the year end is 28.50, so we're there. But certainly we have stops at 2800. The Dow is the one that's the weakest, and the Dow is the one we would stay long because the Dow certainly is going to stay above 25,500 to 26,000, and that has a very good rally year end. So it depends how you want to play. I mean,
so Henry, does the positive signal suggest anything politically that the November election will go well for the Republicans? Or you don't read into that?
No, I don't think it matters. But what it will say is that Trump will act strongly. There are two things that we can say for sure. One is that he'll act strongly in November and December. Now, whether he's doing it because he's won or he hasn't won. I mean, I'm biased here, so I'll hope he wins, but I can't say sure from the astrology. I just know he'll do very well, and the markets will do very well in November and December, which certainly suggests the Democrats are not going to do too well. Or, number one, what was the other thing I was going to say? I'll have to remember. I just had a senior moment there. What was the other thing we had to say about that? Anyway, doesn't matter.
Okay. We'll pick it up next week. We will.
Things are going to be good. The economy's going to be good. Oh, that's right. October. There'll be some surprises. A lot of dirt going to be out in October, but you don't need astrology to know that. The only question is who's the dirt going to be on. I think the only ones that can be on is the Democrats because, I mean, everyone's been investigated, certainly on the Republican side. So I think you're going to have some interesting secrets revealed in October, which will shake up the markets.
Okay, well, does that mean we'll get a little bit of our October nosedive that we always look for?
We may, but it's like I'm not concerned. It's like I'm saying the same thing for the last 2 months. It really doesn't matter. We're basically this rotation going on. You want to be in mega stocks. You want to be Make America Great stocks. They're going to do fantastically November, December. Those are the small and the mid caps mostly. International depends. I mean, if you have exposure to Turkey or Russia, for a few days, it's going to go down, but then these become buys. Those are trading buys. But the market will be rotating. Much more people want to be in the United States, and they're going to be much more want to be in the United States, certainly by the end of next year. So that's not a short.
Great. Thank you, Henry. Really appreciate that. So much to cover and so little time to do it. Henry Weingarten from the Astrologers Fund. If you want more information, 8fund.com, Henry. That's still the place to go, right?
You got it.
You got it. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Henry.
Same to you.
Okay, talk to you next week. Bye-bye. Right on the line is our good friend Don VIALOUX from EquityClock.com and TimingTheMarket.ca. Don, thank you for being patient and joining us again this week.
Yeah, thanks for having me back, Mark.
Well, we got a lot going on, and one of the things I wanted to bring up is this big diplomatic crisis underway between Saudi Arabia and Canada. What's going on there? It's really wild.
Yeah, interesting. What happened is that the foreign minister in Canada sent out a tweet, would you believe, which caused the whole thing. Apparently two activist ladies in Saudi Arabia were arrested, and the minister put out a tweet saying she didn't like that they should release those women. And so the Saudis came out blasting Canada in so many different ways. First of all, they expelled the Canadian ambassador. Then they froze new trade and investments in Canada. Then they decided to withdraw 16,000 Saudi Arabian students that were in Canada. They announced the suspension of the Saudi Arabian airline flights to Toronto. They stopped buying barley and wheat from Canada. And last but probably most important, the Saudis instructed their central bank and state pension funds to sell off all of their Canadian assets.
Wow.
From one little tweet, you had a long lambast of things happening to Canada.
So what's Justin Trudeau doing about this, in your opinion, if anything?
Yeah, he's basically doubled up on it. He's supported his minister, and the noise continues. We've had some actions in individual stocks. For example, SNC-Lavalin has construction contracts over in Saudi Arabia, so that stock has been hit on Friday. So there has been some movement in markets as well.
Don, we're going to have to take a break, so please stay with us. We have a lot to cover with Don VIALOUX from EquityClock.com and TimingTheMarket.ca. I just want to hit the Canadian-Saudi Arabia story right away. So be patient. Don't touch your dial. We'll be back right after the break.
Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at WallStreetRaw.com. At WallStreetRaw.com, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market crash. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to WallStreetRaw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw reports at WallStreetRaw.com. That's WallStreetRaw.com.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGDirect.com.
If you're young and healthy, you don't need life insurance, right? Yeah, that's what I used to think, too, until my brother died at 38. Joe left his wife with 2 kids, a mortgage, and a stack of bills she couldn't pay. Mary had to sell the house and move everybody into this tiny 2-bedroom apartment just to make ends meet. I never want to do that to my wife, so I got life insurance. I called AIG Direct and was really surprised how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. Listen, if you have a family, you should seriously think about getting life insurance. You'll feel a lot better having it, trust me.
Call AIG Direct for a free no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you could save up to 70%. Call now. 1-800-910-7981. That's 1-800-910-7981. 1-800-910-7981.
Long-distance travel or long hours in front of a computer can take its toll on your body.
Get relief for your neck or back pain when you search Amazon for Sunshine Pillows, heating wraps, and pads. Often listed as an Amazon choice. Why take another pill? Now, from Sunny Bay and by customer demand, we introduce our extra long neck heating wrap. A complete wrap, wide and hands-free, and brings fast relief to those who suffer from neck or back pain.
You can easily find Sunshine Pillows on Amazon.
Or search Amazon for our new Sunny Bay disposable heat pads. Or look for Sunny Bay heated neck wraps for relief from back pain to menstrual pain and cramps.
Sometimes life can be a pain in the neck, or back, or shoulder.
See why our company, Biomed DB Design, has a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy. Just go to Amazon.com and search Sunny Bay. Or call us 253-678-1361.
It's been said, any society is only 3 missed meals away from chaos. Those times may be near. Think about it. Our country faces multiple terrorist threats and aggressions from Russia and North Korea. Social unrest and violent marches yet again may lead to looting of stores and city shutdowns. And our crumbling infrastructure leaves our power grid vulnerable to long-term outages from a single cyber attack. When the chaos from any one of these threats arises, the government knows it can't provide during a widespread national emergency. That's why you need your own plan for self-reliance. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. Get a 4-week survival food supply for only $99. That includes breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Order online at preparewithgcn.com. $99 for 4 weeks of survival food that tastes like homemade cooking and lasts up to 25 years from My Patriot Supply. Get your kits today at preparewithgcn.com. Free shipping is included. Preparewithgcn.com.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw. Want to know more about Wall Street Raw and the Leibovit VR newsletters? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com.
Thank you for staying with us, and welcome back to Wall Street Raw on this Saturday, August 11th. Our good friend Don VIALOUX is on the line. Don, of course, is from equityclock.com and timingthemarket.ca. Great websites, great tools there, which I utilize all the time, and you should too. Don, thank you for being patient, and let's pick up from where we left off. So Saudi Arabia hopefully will calm down and things will be normalized in Canada. Meanwhile, this is the time of year where we look for a little bit of a pullback anyway, correct?
Yes, North American equity markets have a history of moving lower from summer to mid-October when an unexpected geopolitical event occurs. A couple of years ago was the drawdown in the Chinese currency, and prior to that was Brexit. Now this year the event could be the collapse of the Turkish economy and currency. On Thursday, the Turkish lira, that's their currency, dropped more than 14%. On Friday, the Turkey iShares dropped by more than 16%. So that's a bit of a problem.
All this really started because of a diplomatic coup between the U.S. and Turkey regarding a doctor that they've been holding there for a period of years, correct?
That's correct. And then on top of that, on Friday, we saw the U.S. administration put on additional tariffs on Turkey for things like aluminum and steel as well. Now, weakness in the Turkish lira has led to weakness in the euro, and related currencies. The euro broke support on Friday at 115 and completed a head and shoulders pattern. Not a good sign. Now, that also led to significant weakness in European ETFs and stocks. An example of that is the iShares on the Italy ETF. It was down 3.5% on Friday alone.
Wow. And it continues, this continued strength in the TSX. It was actually weakness in the TSX past week. I'm looking at my chart, so it did peak back on July 12th, right?
Yeah, interesting. We've seen the S&P 500 try to move to all-time highs last week, but it did fail and started moving lower by the end of the week. TSC Composite actually did peak, as you mentioned, July the 12th, down about 2% so far. This is a time of year when North American equity markets have a tendency to move lower.
Good time to take a vacation, I guess, and come back in October. So, as you say, currency concerns prompted a flight to quality. That's what's happening now, right?
Yes, we saw the U.S. dollar index on Friday break to a 15-month high, so that's all because of the currency situations in Turkey and also in Europe. Now, despite the strength in the U.S. dollar index, gold prices actually moved slightly higher last week. Now, gold has been stuck in a 4-week trading range between $12.11 and $12.38. Probably going to be there for a while, but if it ever breaks on the upside, we have seasonality, which is favorable right through until the beginning of October.
We're right smack dab in that time frame, so you have to have your finger on that buy button. So the real question is, if we do get a rally, is it just a dead cat bounce or something more meaningful? It's just too early to tell. But it's amazing, though, when you think about like the Turkish crisis that we're having, or this one Canada's having with Saudi Arabia, one would think gold would be more responsive, and it's not. You know?
Not so far, but keep it on your radar screen. If you get a break on gold above $12.38 U.S., then you could get a nice little spurt into October.
All right, great. Don, thank you again for being with us. Don VIALOUX from EquityClock.com and TimingTheMarket.ca. And have a great weekend, Don. Thank you so much for the input. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, Mark.
Don VIALOUX from EquityClock.com. Meanwhile, we have a few guests that we hope to have on the show during the day. Harry Boxer may join us in this or the next segment, and if not, we got Sinclair No in the green room, so we'll do our best to get them on the line. Meanwhile, I want to talk a little bit until we get one of them on the line about the no rational way that we could justify America's drug laws. And as you know, I'm a big proponent of medical marijuana. I have a newsletter, the Cannabis Vice Letter. I've been writing about it. And we won't have time to cover all of this on the show, but people assume that the medical committee sat down to consider which recreational drugs were the safest and least addictive. And this so-called wise group decided alcohol and tobacco should be legal, while marijuana and everything else shouldn't. And that's not really what happened. Just to give you a little bit of background, in 2013, CNN's medical correspondent Sanjay Gupta offered a rare public apology. He admitted that he was wrong about medical marijuana and had been too dismissive of his patients' claims about its effectiveness, lumping them into with a high-visibility malingerers who just said, all you're doing is trying to get high. Meanwhile, the story of his reversal reveals a fundamental ongoing problem with the way the media and public view our drug laws and why we need to understand why their origins and we need to move forward, with regard to them. So we're going to talk more and more about this going forward with regard to the perception and the reality with regard to medical marijuana, the Drug Enforcement Agency, how they're involved in the process, and how science really doesn't back up the view that marijuana is harmful. In fact, it's just the opposite. And I think the more the realization is coming to those who are surrounding this sector, and myself included. Our good friend Sinclair No is with us. Sinclair No from KFNN 1510 Phoenix and author of the incomparable blog EatTheBankers.com. Thank you, Sinclair. Thank you for joining us.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, Mark.
Well, we had a little bit of news this past week. Nothing dramatic with our good friends at Wells Fargo. What's going on there?
There was something new at Wells Fargo? Or are you talking about the fine that goes back to the old days of bad mortgages?
Well, they admitted in a regulatory filing that as many as 400 homeowners between April 2010 and 2015 may have needlessly lost their homes due to their actions. That's the story.
Yeah.
Nothing serious. Nothing serious, right? I mean.
Well, they'd been fined, I forget the exact amount, about a week or so ago, going back, I think this was about to 2005 through 2010, basically for selling off Alt-A and subprime mortgages that they knew were bad and then bundling them and selling them off. That's an old story, and that resulted in a fine. The wild thing about that was a 10-year-old fine. I mean, that goes back 10 years. You would think the statute of limitations would apply, but apparently the regulators have now stretched it out to where they don't just see the statute of limitations apply. They can, once they do something, it just kind of sticks around for a while. The other thing was, they were just throwing people out without giving them essentially due process, foreclosing on homes without going through the proper procedures, sometimes with just out-and-out errors. Of course, this is nothing new. We've known that. On and on and on. It just seems to never, ever stop with Wells Fargo. And then one of the latest things, now we're looking at the banks maybe teaming up with Facebook. No, it's not April 1st, Mark. It's not. I know you're stunned.
I am stunned. Okay.
It's not April 1st. This is not some little prank joke. It's real. I'll explain how it works in just a minute.
Okay. Thank you, Sinclair. We're running up into a break, and I want to hear more about the April Fool's joke, Facebook and Wells Fargo. Sounds very interesting. Don't touch your dial, folks. We're back after the break with our good friend Sinclair now.
Are listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. Here, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market tsunami. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required, and no one will call. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw report and Gold News Raw report at wallstreetraw.com.
As a small business owner, you make every dollar count. So what could you do with $10? Go to Vistaprint.com today, and you'll get 500 high-quality custom business cards for only $9.99. That's less than 2 cents per card. And at Vistaprint, your satisfaction is absolutely guaranteed. So it's never been easier to turn 500 strangers into connections. Just visit Vistaprint.com and use promo code 5000 at checkout. That's Vistaprint.com, promo code 5000.
Did you know that safe drinking water is the second most essential human need? Don't take your water for granted. Know what you're drinking. Get a ProPure 10 in-home water test kit for just $20, a $39 value, and test for 10 different water contaminants and conditions. Takes about 10 minutes and works with most potable city and well water sources. No salesman will call. Order your test kit today and receive a $20 coupon good towards the purchase of a ProPure water filter system. Visit a participating authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com.
Are you afraid to go to the mailbox because of letter after letter from the IRS? Are they stacking on more and more penalties and interest? By now, you know the problem won't go away on its own. Don't let the IRS chase you to your grave with penalties and interest and liens and levies. You need real help now. I'm Dan Pilla. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I help thousands of people solve tax problems they thought couldn't be solved. I can help you too. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com. danpilla.com.
If you owe money to the IRS, you need to hear this. The IRS is cracking down on those who owe back taxes. It starts with a devastating letter, and if you don't act immediately, you could find yourself having your wages garnished or have a lien placed on your property. But there's a solution. Tax 10,000 can help. Avoid enforced compliance, where these holds on your income and seizure of your home could become a nightmare that just won't end. Call 800-239-9957 now and speak to one of our experts. 800-239-9957 is the number to link you directly to a tax resolution specialist who will negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Working through the IRS Fresh Start program, all the forms will be handled for you. All you have to do is make the toll-free call. 800-239-9957. Find out if you qualify and possibly save yourself thousands of dollars, not to mention a lot of headaches. It could be the best call you've made today. That number again, 800-239-9957. The service does not provide tax settlement or legal services. We will refer you to a company that does provide such services. Often the IRS will not agree to any reduction in the amount owed. Not all taxpayers who owe more than $10,000 will qualify for a tax reduction program.
Bacon lovers, we ship free. Try our amazing bacon. No refrigeration required. Proprietary value-added packaging provides 10-year shelf life and protects the leanest, thickest, center-cut, fully cooked bacon in America today. Ready to eat right from the pouch or warm and serve. Savory and delicious. Wholesale price for your everyday use. Order today at readytoeatbacon.com. readytoeatbacon.com.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
There is no freedom without the law.
Get it? Got it? Good.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw and the final segment with Mark Leibovit. Now, here's the elf himself.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw on this Saturday, August 11th. Our good friend Sinclair No from KFNN 1510 Phoenix and author of the incomparable blog EatTheBankers.com is on the line. Sinclair, I've been holding my breath through the break here. I can't wait and hear the story of what the Facebook April Fools and Wells Fargo story have in common.
Well, it's not April Fools, but Facebook is apparently talking to banks, different financial institutions, and asking them to give Facebook your financial data, your financial information, your bank account information, your bank account balance, what you're spending in your bank account, where you are spending it. And you're thinking, why in the world would you want that? Well, they would include it on Messenger, make it easy for you to check your balance whenever you want to, make it easy for you to do a transaction. Of course, one of the first things that pops to mind is that they could then start targeting you. If they know what you're buying from this store, that store, that store, they could then target you with advertising. But, you know, this is the same Facebook that gave away all sorts of relevant personal information on some 87 million users. These are the same banks that screw up regularly and foreclose on people's homes without due process, do all sorts of sad and nefarious things, on and on and on. Why would we ever want to bring these two forces together? What good could possibly come of this? I just can't imagine that this would end well under any circumstances. And so far, it may not happen. It may not happen.
Were they going to pay for it, or they just wanted them to turn it over to the...
Just turn it over. And then the question is, well, do we have any say in this? Will the banks agree to the request? Maybe, maybe not. But then the other question is, do we have any say in it? After all, it's our financial data. What if I don't want my financial data turned over to Facebook? Can I automatically opt out, or would I be opted out by default and opt in only if I wanted to? And who's going to make the money off of this? Is it going to be Facebook? Is it going to be the banks? Who's going to make the money? Because somebody has to make money for this thing to fly.
Right.
Yeah. So
I know a lot of people are just closing their Facebook accounts, period. I know it's not maybe the starting of a big trend, but I think people are getting a little disgusted with the whole situation with Facebook, what's going on, particularly with the censorship issue that just came up, too. So
on on a variety of different issues. But then the other point is you start closing down the Facebook, then all of a sudden you find, oh, you can't get into the account over at such and such or the account here. A lot of these different social media things are all tied together. You know, your login through Facebook is your login through something else. Once you're in a Facebook, it's hard to get out.
Good point. Sinclair, we had interesting news stories this week. The most significant, I guess, is Trump authorizing doubling of tariffs on Turkey's steel, aluminum, which caused their currency to collapse the last few days. And then Canada had a big dispute going on with Saudi Arabia, to the extent that Saudi Arabia pretty much shuts down all their business relationships with Canada. What's your thoughts about these stories?
The Saudi Arabian story with Canada, it's like, come on, you're trying to start a feud between Canada and Saudi Arabia, and you look and say, well, who would I side with? It was over a tweet. Somebody tweeted that started because of a Twitter communication. The whole thing. Yeah, some Canadians basically said that there's some groups in Saudi Arabia that are not living up to human rights expectations. The Saudis took offense with that. It just blew up overnight. I got to say, picking a fight with the Canadians, come on, that's like trying to get into a fist fight with Mr. Rogers. Right. I mean, they suspended all trade with Canada. They brought home students that have been studying there. Patients in hospitals. Unbelievable. Right. So I guess you can't tick off the Saudis, huh? Well, and at the same time, the Saudis are bombing away over in Yemen. The latest thing that happened over there is that they bombed a school bus full of kids over in Yemen. Great. Yeah. So, and by the way, the United States it backs the Saudis in their fight in Yemen, in part because they're fighting against Houthi rebels who are backed by Iran. So everybody's picking sides. The tariffs keep slipping slower and slower into a deeper and deeper pit, and it's going to be harder and harder to get out of that, what's turning into a quagmire for tariffs and trade. It's starting to affect many of the emerging markets, and you mentioned Turkey now doing more business with Russia, looking for defense to buy a defense system from Russia, possibly bypassing Boeing and some other defense contractors here in the U.S. as a part of that deal. Turkey just had one of its worst days financially on Friday. One of the worst days that they've seen in years, maybe on record for a long, long time. Russia is in a bear market. We're starting to see this in all sorts of other places as well. It's going to, throughout Europe as well. You got to think that Italy is starting to feel a little bit antsy about some of the things that are going on. I don't know where it ends, but I don't think it ends well. I don't think it ends well at all. Trade wars are not easy. They are very, very difficult. They result in higher prices. Generally speaking, they result in supply chains that get broken. Doesn't mean that we have a great trade system in place now, but trade wars and tariffs are not the answer. And I say that based upon historical perspective. Go back and look at how Smoot-Hawley Act affected our economy. Some 90 years ago almost now. Sinclair, I know we have a couple of minutes here, but let's jump over to the Federal Reserve. This past week, Charles Evans, president of the Chicago Fed, was talking about price pressures are not a problem with regard to inflation, and that would require the Fed to accelerate its pace of interest rate hikes. That 2% is a magic benchmark for them. It is, but Evans says it's okay, we can overshoot the inflation targets, and I think he's probably right. I don't see any reason why they can't overshoot the inflation target. In fact, it looks like they already are. But why not? Why not be a little bit dovish on all this? look, we're still seeing some slack in the labor market. And I say that because we still haven't seen wages start to move yet. So we're not having wage push inflation. Once wage push inflation gets into place, yeah, I can see the Fed tightening up and getting serious. But right now, the Fed is also doing quantitative tightening. Don't forget that. So they can afford to be a little bit loose with the rate hikes. And that's okay. They can afford to do it because that quantitative tightening, basically they're sucking money out of the economy each and every month to the tune of $30 to $50 billion per month as they try to unwind their balance sheet, which is now well over $4 trillion, maybe closer to $5 trillion.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how big that was. Yep.
So basically, they're just sucking money out of the economy. That means less money supply at a time when the velocity of money has slowed to near record lows. Money's just not moving around. Part of the reason is that it's stuck in Wall Street.
Sinclair, we ran out of time again. Just so much to cover in such a short period of time. Sinclair No from KFNN 1510 and author of the great blog EatTheBankers.com, and he'll be back with us again next week. Thank you for joining us, Sinclair.
Thank you.
And as we do each week, we close our show with what our old friend Ed Hart used to say on the old Financial News Network. And he says, as we say, we will know in the fullness of time. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for listening to Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week Elf, Mark Leibovit. If you missed any of today's show or to get in touch with Mark, please go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Any stocks or investment discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. We first recommend you seek out a licensed financial professional for advice. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. At wallstreetraw.com, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market crash. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw reports at wallstreetraw.com. That's wallstreetraw.com.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original and most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
Healthcare reform is confusing. With the loss of the Obamacare mandate, those needing help can now choose an affordable alternative. By joining Liberty HealthShare, you're part of a community of health-conscious Americans all over the country who control their own healthcare costs and choices. Liberty HealthShare is not insurance. It is an association of self-pay patients who unite with like-minded people to share the cost of their medical needs. Neighbor helping neighbor. Learn more now by going to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.